all on board. It's another time with Tutor Ayo, the enthusiastic tutor, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be the very first class we are having on the course, BED212, and according to the thumbnail, we are going to be taking our bearing from where it says data processing. Okay, data processing. Perhaps data processing is not something new to us. It's not a terminology we haven't heard of. Alright, but we're going to be considering certain things about what it means by data itself and why does it have to be processed. Alright, so you want to ensure to get your writing materials and get set for the class, and you also want to ensure to subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. Also, ensure to give us a thumbs up if you find this class helpful, and most importantly, for those of us who haven't joined the private class, let's ensure to join the private class right away, because in the private class is where we do the main thing, walk you through all your courses without leaving anyone unattended to, give you all the resources you'll be needing while preparing for exam, and also set you up for the exam. How do you become a member of the private class? All you need to do is just to reach out to us, alright, on our official website, which is www.tutorial.net. You get to find the WhatsApp button in the top right hand corner on our page. Use the WhatsApp button to send us a direct message. From there, we'll take it up and guide you into becoming a member of the private class. Now, let's head straight into today's class. Talking about data processing. I wouldn't want to hold us much longer for tonight because it's getting late, and I know the majority of us will be heading for work, preparing for work the early hours of tomorrow. So it's not going to be a long class at all. So let's just take a thing or two. I will talk about data processing. Alright? First, we need to understand what it means by data. Then we'll talk about the processing part of it. One thing you must understand is that data, alright? One thing you must understand, we said we talk about data and the processing part of it, alright? But just before we talk about that, when we say data processing, alright, it is said to be a data collection, storage, retrieval, and transformation or transmission. Now, data processing is a process. Let's first note that. Now, this process involves the what? The collection then from the collection we have the storage. When data is being collected, data is being stored. When data is collected, it is being stored. Okay? When it is stored, When the data is being stored, then it is being retrieved. Okay? Then when it is retrieved, then the processing begins. Alright? Then, after this data has been processed, then we have the transformation. When you begin to make sense of this data. And then, after the transformation, we have what we refer to as transmission. This is when data becomes useful. Okay? At the transmission stage. So this is it basically. It's a process. It's a lot of things involved, as you can see from what we have. Then this data is being collected, it is being stored, retrieved, processed, transformed, and then transmitted. And this is what we refer to as the concept of data processing. Data is a fact. Note this. We talked about this, if you remember quite alright. For those of us that did GS 103 in 100 level first semester, we talked about what data is. And we said data is a fact. Alright? We can refer to data as raw material that is about to be used, about to be processed. You know, raw materials are just raw materials. They are neither used for consumption, they are neither useful for consumption or useful for buying and selling. Alright, okay, we can buy and sell raw materials, but basically raw materials are not useful for consumption. Alright, raw materials need to be worked upon, it needs to be transformed, then it becomes beautiful. Alright, it becomes wonderful, it becomes something that consumers are willing to pay for. Are we together? So these are data is facts. Alright, it could be seen as concept or instruction, a form of expression, numbers, digits. Are we together? Control. Now, just a moment. Okay, it could be automated, it could be data is facts. All right, concept or instrument or instructions of a form of expression. So expression could be manual, it could be automated device for processing in form of data text. What are we saying here? Data is facts. Alright, please note that data is fact, more like raw materials that need to be worked upon before sense can be made out of it. Alright, data are explained, and after giving a certain sense they become information. So this fact needs to be what? Processed. Then it becomes information. And this is what we need. Just like you extract cassava as raw materials for cassava flour, it needs to be processed. When it becomes processed, it becomes a finished goods which can be exchanged for value. Are we together? So we have that as that. Now let's take a step further. Now, data can be obtained from existing sources by conducting an observational study or conducting an experimental study. All right, obtained data could be obtained from what? Existing sources. What has been existing sources. It could also be obtained by conducting what? Observational what? Study. Okay, by conducting what we also refer to as observational study or experiments. These are the sources where you can obtain data from. Okay, so we have that as that. So now when we talk about data processing, all right, this I explained a lot about that already. So we've been able to cover that. So like I said, I don't want to hold us much for tonight. So let's call it wrap here for today. And in our next class, we'll take it up from the types of data. I'll try as much as I can to see if we can finish this course by next week. So we can start with some other courses immediately. But either way, no matter how it goes, definitely we are going to make available the keynote of the course. So those things we are able to cover in the class, you can brush it and cover it up in the keynote. So I'm going to highlight it here where it says type of data. Okay, so thank you very much. I believe you've been able to gain something. I believe you've been able to understand what it means by data processing. You'll be able to understand what it means by data itself and how it can be obtained. Do have a wonderful evening. Let's ensure to keep our notes up to date, and I look forward to seeing you on the subsequent tutorials. Bye for now.